Good afternoon, good day, wherever it is you are watching me from around the world. Um, it is in the news lately that Donald Trump had cut the funding of PEPFER. What is PEPFER? It is a body that stands as a kind of NGO that funds the HIV/AIDS drugs, the antiretroviral, whatever the kind of drugs, the people that has the ailment of HIV/AIDS. I really don't know much about it though, but there's an attention these are scored to the African nations. It is so pathetic and like I say, let me say it in our colloquial language that it's a pity, yes, that this kind of thing is bouncing on us now as a great nation that we used to call ourselves to be, or that we thought ourselves to be. You see, the attention this calls to us is that there's nothing independent about us. You see, they will call you out for this kind of say, if you want to say it, especially in among our black people, our black nation. We are not independent. You see, why I said we are not independent is that most of these things, our sustenance still depends on the Europeans, the Westerners. We are merely end users. And the bad aspect is that the few people who know this, who has innovative thoughts and ideas, you will never see them at the top. They don't want them at the top. And the society is so decayed that people are so myopic and shallow. When you tell them, when you want to discuss about things of the future, things that matters, they joke it off. But it's down on us. You see, I was telling somebody in the recent time that the pandemic of 2020, it was something that caught us unaware. Same thing. There are a lot of things going on simultaneously in the world now. In the 2030, we don't know the next one that will eat us. But this is it. Road to 2030. Another one that eat us again. I'm not saying, God forbid, if this situation is not curbed on time, what do you think will happen to? How many population of people do you think is going down? Let me tell you a story. In the late 90s, back then I think I was in my primary school, and my elementary. In my local town then, we have the whites that came in then. So when they came in, they had to the town crier had to sound a gong and told most of the people that the whites they are around, and they sense that they have some ailments with them, some diseases that are transmittable, that our people should not mix with them nor have any sexual intercourses with them. But our people, because of how they have been myopic for long, the black people have been myopic for long, they insisted on having something to do with these people, and along the line, this is the effect here now. A lot of people contracted HIV/AIDS since then. According to HIV/AIDS has been in existence since the 80s. Sorry, I'm not good with number and I don't like keeping the dates in my head. Now, but I know it is in the 80s it has started. Then I, as a kid, I witnessed HIV/AIDS in the 90s. Because this is the little story I said I wanted to talk about. Then back then, when the town criers were saying it that, oh, don't mix with these people, don't do this with these people, I had a particular peer, a female peer of mine that we grew up together. The parents, they contracted HIV/AIDS out of what they did then. The outcome for the family was that this so-called family, the woman died, the husband died, their little child died. The only person who survived that epidemic that ate their family then was that particular female peer of mine I mentioned earlier. Now, The reason this happened to the family then was because there were no remedies, there were no drug to remedy the disease then, which is antiretroviral that was later introduced. Like I said earlier, I really don't know much about this. There are other drugs according to their type 1, type 2, whatever of this ailment we were talking about. Now, back to what I was saying about we Africans, the blacks, being a end user. We still depend so much on these people. Research centers, they will tell you, our government, they have research centers. What are the research centers doing? Are they allocating enough funds for the research centers? Are there resources? And the last time I even checked, most of these so-called resources are being taken from this our very land. If you doubt me, I could mention some of the resources that are being taken here in Africa. That is even one of the integral part of the technologies, the funds we use. But we just don't want to develop. And I don't know, maybe there are things holding us back, or maybe me, I never see front, I never go the top, I never see, maybe you get something where they hold people back, that black men cannot do good for themselves. Now, Donald Trump cutting off the funding of HIV/AIDS drugs. What do you think will bring the effect will be? We are still struggling with Sapa, food, Japa. How do people now want to juggle between looking for day-to-day life? Before, they were giving it to them for free, so they will still be able to go about their day-to-day life looking for food for themselves and maybe their loved one, their families. But now, the responsibility has now rest on our government and every individual that has this ailment in their bloodstream. But hadn't been behind a end user, hadn't been a research companies or whatever research firms are functioning well, there is no reason why we are not supposed to have even developed our own drugs. Maybe Ibile, or maybe this is the period. Maybe this is the period we work on it now. Because the thing is, even most of our gadgets, they ship it in. The foods we eat, imagine we plant food here, they will still ship in tin food and sealed food. Even the sealed food that is being made in Nigeria, biscuity, tomato, this thing, whatever it is, toothpaste, everything made in Nigeria but not owned by Nigerian. Made in Nigeria but not owned by Nigerian. Where are we going? And these people, it's like they have had back-end plans. They left us without leaving us. They wrote a book on us. 100-year journal, 200-year journal is on our head. That is working. That is a kind of catalyst. That is working. Despite that they are not here, their presence is still here. It's a pity on the black nation, though. So, talk is cheap. Africans, we need to wake up. Black nations. It says the news says that Nigerians and all underdeveloped countries, and according to in the world, Nigeria is the second largest country with HIV/AIDS. Imagine how many people will go down if this is not called on time. I just say make I talk my own again.